It will shock people. It will give people a wake-up call at how corrupt, how evil the system is. That they would do this to a woman for some obscure comments made 5 years ago.
I think she's a great lady. I'm not offended. I don't know any Jews who are offended.
Tahra has received a custodial sentence. A custodial sentence on both charges. For count 1 it was 11 months. For count 2 it's 6 months. So Tahra has been taken into custody.
So far, Tahra has now been in prison for 2 months and 19 days. They did tell her that she would have to serve a minimum of 5.5 months, minimum with good behaviour. Now, what that means is open for interpretation. Nobody knows. I'm suspicious because I happen to know that she's in there because she knew too much, she was helping people too much. It's not about what she said or didn't say on Facebook. And the establishment's interest is to keep her locked up and muzzled up. So I'm crossing my fingers that these 14 weeks that she has to go will be all that's really left for her to be there. I did talk to her personally. I went to visit her in jail on Wednesday. I get the impression she was putting a brave face on with makeup on. We did ask her whether she was getting on with the inmates, and unfortunately she did say she doesn't have much in common, which was to be expected because she's in there with criminals and rapists and people who have done really bad things, and all she's done is post on social media. And I get the impression as well that because she's so well spoken, they think she's too posh. So she is spending a lot of time in isolation, eating her meals in her room as well. But yeah, we're still fighting for her and letting everybody know, because the reason why she's in there, she could have very easily gone to court and say, I'm sorry, and this way be forgiven and be out. But she didn't want to shoot freedom of speech in the foot, quite literally. So she decided, no, this is not what freedom of speech is about. Whether you agree with me or not, people should not be sent to jail for exercising their freedom of speech. So she chose to say, no, I'm not going to say I'm sorry, I'm going to stick by my guns. And she is paying the ultimate sacrifice for us. She's in jail for us. So the least we can do is promote this and let people know that it's about all of us. It's not just about her. They're going to go for inspiring figures like her. And what I say is, they can't lock us all up. They can't put us all in prison. So if we're aware of that and we keep on resisting and we keep on saying, no, we will not be muzzled up, we will carry on exercising our freedom of speech, then we may stand a chance. And again, don't be afraid. Just because one person has been sent to prison to be made an example of doesn't mean that we should all cut our wings. On the contrary, we should fight back even harder.
Is there a way people can contact her if they want to send her a letter?
Yes, they can. We have the address here. So Tahra, you should write letters to Tahra Ahmed. That's her prison number. HMP Yoi Downview, Sutton Lane, Sutton, Surrey. And the postcode is SM2 5PD. So yeah, she is in dire need of people writing letters to her and egging her on and giving her some hope. And you can also, if you can manage it, we are still trying to raise some funds for her. She does have pending legal costs from the previous trial, and she does have to raise more legal costs towards appealing, not just for the sentence, but appealing for the actual verdict, because none of us agree on the guilty verdict at all. So you've got a QR code there, and you've got the address that you can go to for donations.
So it's been, what's been either 2 months?
2 months and 19 days.
I think I've been reflecting about this. I think the thing is, obviously, when she's in prison, she can't talk to anyone. She does need, we're trying to raise funds for the legal appeal, and we do need more funds. And I know that there's a lot of things which go around on Telegram, and sometimes you might think, oh, well, what's happened to her? But when you're in prison, you can't send out videos, you can't talk to the freedom fighters. She's just kind of isolated, really. She's at the moment, I don't know if you mentioned this either, but at the moment it's 2 visits a month, is that correct?
Yes, 2 visits a month.
2 visits a month with, so we've had some of the committee going. I'm going to go next. But it's been pretty grim. Things have gotten better recently because she's now doing some teaching. She's teaching English, I think. But previous to that, it's pretty much 30 minutes of exercise and most of the rest of the day in the cell, which is pretty hardcore. And so I think we need to remember, I'm actually making a song for her, and I was talking with some of the other committee members, and we were looking at the footage from 2020 and seeing how she stood up to police. That's why I first got involved in the Freedom Festival. I wasn't a big player in it. I got involved a little because I was just so taken with how she stood up to them. And now she's not there for a certain amount of time. She really needs to feel that, you know, we're there supporting her. So if people can send a little something, or I think sending letters, I know we probably don't do much of that anymore. I don't go to the post office. But if it's not a letter, it's an email. And I understand that certain people might be cautious about letting details be seen and things like that. But if that's a concern of yours, I've just spoken to someone on the march. I'm going to send a letter and we're going to write it together, and I'll put my address on the back. You know, you can find ways. Find someone who doesn't mind. The important thing is to try and get something to her.
By the way,
there by herself.
unlike Bronzefield Prison, which was the previous prison she was in Downview Prison, you can write a letter without putting your address at the back, and it will get to her.
Okay, there you go. I forgot about that. So actually, there's no excuse there. There's no excuse. We should all be writing letters.
If they were so offensive, nobody made a complaint about them on Facebook. Facebook didn't do anything. You know, there's algorithms that Facebook picks up if there's anything offensive. Facebook didn't pick up anything. And then 5 years down the line, they then start persecuting me and prosecuting me and harassing me and torturing me and assaulting me and incarcerating me in a high security prison. And then bringing me to this Old Bailey made for murderers.